Hello, marvelous people. Thank you so much for joining me over here on the live stream today from LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and my Limitless tribe. Thank you so much. Ever so humbled by your presence and all the interactions and the amazing comments I get from you. Thank you so much for giving all your love. I want to tell you that today's guest is very, very special. But before we come to him, I want to, share with you that success is neither a motion nor a lifestyle and not a destination, definitely. Because success is a journey of personal growth, a feeling of fulfillment and joy. And if outwardly your life looks successful, but internally you don't feel any joy, maybe you need to pause and give some thought and redefine your personal meaning of success and all that it encompasses and restart all over again if needed. Because maybe you have been living the idea of success of someone else, so you need to go ahead and reboot yourself. Now, my guest tonight, Jeff Zisselman, is very special, for a lot of reasons. First being he's a dear friend. Second being he has achieved a lot in his life, but in spite of that, the day he and his soulmate Diana felt that they were not enjoying the journey, they restarted again without a second thought. Third, he and Diana are the examples of an ideal companionship, of love, of trust, and mutual respect. And fourth, but not the least, he's busy thriving cancer with the infectious attitude of a warrior. He was trained in the US as an attorney and has been an entrepreneur all of his life. He was a finalist for the Ernst and Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And Jeff, in his prior ventures, has owned a mortgage bank, a financial services company, and a consulting business, advising multi-million dollar families on asset protection and business planning. Jeff's passion is to ignite greatness in others. So, with a warm, warm round of applause, let's bring on Jeff. Hey,
Good.
Jeff.
Hey,
Thank
good
you so
evening.
much. Good evening,
You're
Jeff.
good morning. I'm calling in from Florida, so we have a little bit of a time difference.
Yes, we do. But thank you so much for joining me over here. I am overjoyed to have you over here. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, and I'm looking forward to coming with Diana and visiting you in India. It's one of the few countries we haven't visited in person yet.
Yes, you need to do that. So, Jeff, the first question I always might ask my guests is to share their journey, because I know you have had an outstanding, life journey. Please share those parts of your journey with us that made Jeff who he is today.
Well, that's a great question. And we've had a lot of mentors and coaches and spent our lives always in growth mode. And when I look at, I'm 55, when I look at our journey, which is still continuing and we have a lot to accomplish, I think one of the major lessons I've learned is to be resilient. And it's really simple. When you fall down, brush yourself off and get back up, no different than a kid on a bicycle, right? We've all learned to ride a bicycle. When the training wheels come off, sometimes we fall, or when we're learning to walk. And I think that's just a lesson of life. So I was brought up in New York. I'm an attorney by training. I studied business and finance and then went to Boston University School of Law. And why did I do that? Because we tend to go in the direction of our family. I come from a family of lawyers and dentists, so I decided to go the legal route. But I learned to be an entrepreneur very, very young. Growing up in New York, it snowed, and my father pointed outside. It was snowing, and he said, gave me a shovel, and that was a business. Of course, his driveway was free, and that became a great business. When other kids were playing in the snow, I was out there having my mom take me like 10, 15, 20 blocks away, shoveling driveways. And what that taught me is how to think like an entrepreneur and also the actions of an entrepreneur. And through my journey, I've had some successful businesses, and I've had some that have, karmically
I
given
think you're
money back.
frozen,
Oh, am I?
Jeff.
How about,
Maybe it's an internet issue.
let me see. How about now? Am I okay? I think it might be a
Hey
StreamYard.
guys, please be patient.
I see you
We will
okay.
have
Do
him
you,
back up. Just give us a
huh?
moment.
I'm not frozen on my end. I think it might be a
Yes.
StreamYard issue. Do you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So what I was saying is, life's a journey, and you have your challenges, right? Things that present themselves that you've never
Might be an issue
expected.
from my end. I'm not sure.
Yeah, now you're frozen. I don't know if I think I'm still live, but I don't think anyone. I'm not sure if everyone
Yes,
can hear me.
yes,
Okay.
we can hear you now. Yeah.
Perfect. So what I was saying is, life's a journey, and there are always opportunities to learn and grow. And I think those opportunities come in many, God gives us, or the universe gives us, these challenges to either grow or they crush you. That's why they're there, and they're all in
Yes.
your perspective. And we all have our business challenges, right? Whether we're in the corporate world and we want to be an entrepreneur, or we're an entrepreneur and something doesn't work out the way we want. And I think one of the largest challenges my wife and I have faced is 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with a type of cancer. And I'm someone, when you hear those words at a doctor, they're very scary. And I'm someone who's been healthy. I've worked out. I eat, like I've invested in my health. I call it a health bank account. And when you hear those words, whether it's a family or friend, it's pretty scary. And I made a decision at the time that, I am going to thrive and rid my body of it, and, live a great life, because I know I haven't fulfilled my purpose. Right.
Yes.
And I think purpose and mission are really, really important when you're going through challenges, whether it's your business. If you don't have that vision for the future, it's really hard to see. I call it being in the weeds, right? Sometimes we're in our business, the weeds are really high and we don't see all the opportunity. We just see weeds.
Yes.
And I think, with a personal health challenge and a lot of misinformation, I made some big decisions and on how to live my life, how to deal with, being diagnosed, right? And what doctor to listen to, what to do. I believe that you have to take responsibility to invest in your health through the journey, through mindset, meditation, diet, nutrition, exercise. There's a lot we could do.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's been something, taking care of my health, number one on my agenda before everything else, and surrounding myself with positive people, right? Having a positive emotional state. Because what I've learned is any stressor lowers your immune system, right? Stress goes up, immune system drops, and then your body's weakened. So
Yes.
I've been blessed that I have a strong mind and a strong body, and I continually invest in that so I could continue on my journey.
Fantastic. That's so wonderful, Jeff. So, Jeff, since you just spoke about Diana, that together you have been in this journey, and you and Diana, I know, share a rock solid relationship, a rock solid camaraderie, and a companionship. Where when the world is actually seeing astounding number of marriages falling apart, what has been the three major contributing factors to making it so rock solid?
Well, I think, one of the first things is we were both single. We met when we were 40. So I think, and I know your culture, I have a lot of friends, Indian Americans, that there's a lot of pressure to get involved very young, right? To get married.
Yes.
And I think there are a lot of challenges with that, because I think you have to understand yourself before you can commit to someone else. So meeting when we were 40, right, being more mature, understanding what we wanted in that next part of our life was really crucial. I think one of the lessons in relationship is compromise, right? Like when you're in a good relationship, there's compromise, right? You can't always be right, right? Like it's based upon love and emotion. And we work together, so we spend 95% of our time together. We probably spend more time together than most couples spend in 30 years that we've done in 15.
Absolutely.
And I think, also another part of it is not to judge, and this is just in life, like not to judge what the other person is doing, right? Look at what they're bringing to the relationship, because everyone brings something different.
Yes.
And I think the third thing is to be able to say you're sorry. And, we've lived all over the world, and it's interesting. Some cultures, as an American, if I do something, I'll apologize, and they don't understand it because in their culture, it's just not culturally what they do. But I think when you can sincerely apologize, right, that you've made the other person upset, it goes a long way.
Absolutely. You're so right.
And never go to sleep angry with anyone.
Yes. The moment you go to sleep angry and it continues, there you start breaking the relationship, I think. It should never extend.
Yeah, I mean, every issue is resolvable if you communicate, and I never want to I don't like going to sleep angry with anyone, especially my wife.
That's so great, Jeff. So as an entrepreneur and a financial consultant, you have seen tremendous success. Now, what keeps you so humble and grounded with a serving others mentality? I have seen you having that attitude where you literally want to serve others, help others, make yourself available. So what keeps you grounded?
Well, I think probably one of the things is, is just some family values, being brought up in a certain way, understanding the ethic of hard work and smart work. So, my mentality has been the job is done when it's done, not when it's 5 o'clock, whether you're painting a house or doing a business deal, right? My generation is it's done when it's done, regardless of how long it takes. And I think, the idea of helping and serving others is really important, right? A lot of people say if you want to get the more people you help reach their dreams, the sooner you'll get to yours. And when you're truly in service mode and thinking outside yourself, you're able to accomplish a lot. And one of the things is I don't like arrogant people. I find it's one of the qualities I don't like in people. So I've surrounded myself and my role models of people that are very successful, yet very, very humble and always looking to serve and help.
Right.
And I think it's because they understand relationships. And that I think that keeps me very grounded and very in check. And the truth of it is, the people you see going on the way up, you also see when things aren't working on the way down. And if you don't treat people equally, it's going to be a very rough ride.
Yes, so true. It takes a lot of, I think, experience of life and a lot of depth. I think you need to be very, very spiritually aware of who you are first to be able to understand this truth that we just spoke about. So I think it requires a lot of understanding. Amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, it's how much have you worked and understand yourself and what drives you and who you are, and it makes you better able to adapt, in relationships, right? I mean, everything in life is based upon relationships, right? Every successful business, every successful personal relationship, family relationship. And I think, when you know yourself, it's easy to go out there and interact and build strong relationships in a way of service and being humble.
Yes, that's right. So since now maintaining this wealth and assets is your expertise, what are a few of the myths, guiding tips and some non-negotiable habits that you would want to share with the audience on the same that would help them, maintain whatever wealth or assets they have?
I mean, number one, I think, and again, it gets back to relationships. You have to work, if you're investing, if you're building a business, with people that you really trust. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a lawyer involved in negotiating agreements, but that should be secondary, right? If you're building a business or investing with someone and you don't trust them, then that's not, it doesn't matter what the investment is, right? It's not a good thing to be involved in. And the other thing is, I think, watching how people interact, not when it's good, but when things don't go well, right? The market drops, you're invested in a real estate deal and thing goes sideways. If you have a good relationship, I believe every problem is solvable. But if you don't have that trust, then it doesn't matter how great the upside is, right? You always have to be looking at your downside risk. And I think it's understanding. You have to have some understanding of what you invest in. Even if it's a little bit, right? If when someone comes to me with a business deal, if they can't explain it to me in a few minutes and I don't understand it, I because I've seen a lot in my 55 years, then I'm like, what are they doing? What is that about, right? So it's surrounding yourself again with good people.
Absolutely. And I think everyone should be a bit financially savvy. It's I think, a need. So what kind of things people can do to increase this awareness, at least to manage their own personal finances and their own wealth and assets? What are the things they can do?
Well, I think, with the verge of the internet, right? Like what we're doing right now, there are so many, YouTube videos, books, podcasts of people that are successful, that are sharing their keys to success. And I think investing your time in listening and learning will give you a fundamental knowledge, right? And again, it's finding the people that can help you accomplish what you want. Whether you have someone at Merrill Lynch or you have an investment portfolio in real estate, it's, because you can't be an expert in everything. We live in a very sophisticated world, but I think self-education and learning about it is important.
Yes. At least some basic fundamental awareness is very important. And of course, you cannot specialize yourself in everything. So you need to depend on other people, no doubt about it. But you should not be at a zero level where you just do not know anything and you have no control over any decision.
Yeah, that's always bad. It doesn't end up well if you do that.
Yes, right. So now, what is this yes life that you practice and preach, you and Diana?
So, as we've lived all over the world and we've built our business in many places, and our, one of our core philosophies is that you need to be able to say yes to everything in your life. Someone calls you and says, "Hey, Anshu, let's go to London on vacation next week," right? You don't want to have to have, I got to call my boss. I don't have enough money. I can't do it, right? So it's living a life where you could really, whatever you want to live, right? And my life is very different than the things you want, right? But I think having that flexibility and freedom to be your best and live your best life is important without limitations.
Absolutely. I think, it's all about the limitlessness, same thing as the philosophy of limitlessness, where you can do whatever you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want, and whenever you want. So be who you are, basically.
And I think most people, their biggest limitation comes from how they think. I think that's the biggest limitation that they have, right?
Right. Absolutely. So how basically do you help them with leading this yes life?
I think there are lots of different ways, you can help people. I mean, we help people around the world, become entrepreneurs, learn leadership, learn about themselves, right? Invest in that personal growth, right? The biggest investment you can make is in yourself. There's nothing more important than that, as you know, because we met at a personal development seminar, And we were taking,
Yes.
time to invest in ourselves, which was very impressive because you were up all night and you always looked like it was morning because of the time difference, which was really impressive. And I think that, when people start making that investment, then their mind opens up of what's possible, right? Not being a victim of the story you're telling yourself, right? Where, I wasn't educated, I didn't have money, I'm not as smart, I'm not as pretty, I'm not thin, I'm not fat, whatever it might be, right? I think when you're able to overcome that in yourself, your mind's going to open up to see the possibilities of how you want to live your life.
Right. True. And it's, yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything falls down to the mindset, your perception of life, the way you treat other people, the way you treat yourself, the self-talk that you do all the time with yourself. What are you saying to yourself? Are you putting yourself down? I think
I agree. I think it's interesting because, if we ever talk to other people, our best friends or our partner, like we talk to ourselves, we would have no friends.
yes.
And I think most people are really hard on themselves. And whenever I have a negative thought or something that's not uplifting, I change it immediately, right? I replace it with something positive. And that's a skill set, just like going to the gym every day.
Yes.
Going for a run, right? You have to learn to control your mind because your brain is a muscle.
Absolutely. No doubt. Actually, everything is a skill set. If you look at it, even being confident, if you're underconfident, becoming very, very confident, even that's a skill set. We all need to work on everything that is not working great for us. We need to work on it, develop it as a muscle, and I think we start rocking after that.
I think it all comes down to the habits.
Yes.
Right. And I mean, just like a habit is, January 1st, people say, oh, I have to lose 10 pounds. I have to get to the gym. And then they stop doing it. Right. So it's setting up a system for each of us to win. Right. Whatever that is. I want to make more money. I want to do personal development. I always tell people, start off reading a book. I make sure every day, 10 or 15 minutes a day, reading or listening to a book.
Yes.
If you don't have 10 or 15 minutes a day, right, that's a problem. And I'm very consistent. It's part of our routine, right? Because it adds up over the months, over the years, vacations, commute time. So, creating those habits in your life will help you change your mindset because it changes functionally who you are.
Yes. True. So true. So now, you just shared in your story that 6 years back you got to know that you had a tumor like cancer. I can see that you are always on the go. You're very active, always on the go. You are going to attending different business seminars. You are here joining me on this talk show today. I know you have recently shifted to Florida. So with all the stuff that is happening in the world of health, how do you manage all of that? Where do you get this resilience? Where do you get this no excuses attitude from? What keeps you going and on your toes?
That's a great question. I think, energy, right? Your personal energy comes from a lot of different places. Number one is the foods you eat. Right? Like we are very careful on what we put into our body. We're getting ready to do a Tony Robbins seminar this weekend for 5 days, and it's all about health and nutrition, both emotional nutrition and food nutrition. And I think, creating those habits is important because your energy comes from what you consume.
Yes.
Like I know I don't eat gluten. If I eat gluten, I know I'm going to pay the price the next day. I might not feel 100%. So I think what we put into our bodies is really important. And I know in the United States, we're surrounded by toxic food. and that's our biggest export, the McDonald's, the Burger Kings. I'm not proud of it being an American, but that's garbage if you know what's in it. So I think that's number one. Exercise, right? Moving your body is really, really important, right? To be able to stay vibrant, to be able to, keep your cells healthy and your mind healthy. Right. We're big in our businesses in nutrition. So we're very big into nutritional supplements because we know you can't get all of your vitamins and minerals that fuel your body from food, even if you're eating organic, you just can't consume enough of it. And then there's, I think, having a purpose. I had a friend when I was diagnosed who was also diagnosed. He had a brain tumor. He was a very important person to us, and he became a good friend, and we were on the journey together. And when he lost his purpose, he died.
Whoa.
And it was really, when you have someone close to you that when you're going for chemo and he's going for radiation and you're on the journey together. And I remember the day when I met with him, and Diane and I were really upset because we were with his wife, and I felt like and it's everyone's personal choice, but he lost his purpose and he gave up. And if you don't have a will and purpose to live, guess what? The universe or God is gonna, it's your time is up. So I think when I speak with people diagnosed with different diseases, right, they need to have a purpose. To get up every day, to enjoy their life. Right? To surround themselves, like I do our best to surround ourselves with people like you, positive people.
It's
so
a great message.
Because you have to be emotionally fed by positive people, not toxic people. No different than I consider there's toxic foods, there's toxic people. And if you surround yourself with toxic people, you're poisoning your mind, you're poisoning your soul. And we just choose not to do that. And our energy attracts amazing people, whether we're traveling, sitting next to someone on a plane, meeting someone like you, who's all the way across the world. And I can't wait till we can meet in person. We met during this crazy COVID situation almost, 10 months ago. So I think that's really important. People don't, it's hard to get rid of toxic people.
But
it's important. I think it's
very important. And I think, Jeff, this is very true that when our consciousness starts rising, the higher we become, consciously aware, I think all the toxic people start falling apart from your life. You start attracting the same tribe. I have experienced this in my life, and I'm sure you must have felt the same thing. They just start falling apart.
I agree. We're all connected by energy, right? We're all connected. So the energy you're putting out will attract or repel what you want in your life. And negative people always pull you down. Right? They have a problem for every problem. And, I always look at things that are happening. They're happening for us, even though we might not see it at the time. And how do we make it an opportunity? What lesson is there? And, we have a choice of who we spend our time with. And that's very powerful. Just like we have a choice of what we're going to put in our body every day.
So true. So true. Amazing message. So just want to reiterate this message to everyone, that if you do not have a purpose, if you have lost your purpose, then your will to fight with all the adversities in life will be highly affected. But if you have a purpose that you are looking forward to achieving, you would keep going. And that is the secret to that resilience that would help you keep going no matter what happens in your life. Having a purpose is so important, and having this positive energy and the positive, people, the positive tribe around you who don't pull you down, but actually, lift you up.
And I think opportunity comes when you have great relationships with positive people. I see a lot of different business deals and other things to do. And my first level is, who is it that I'm going to be working with? Can I create value for them? And can they create value for me? Because it doesn't matter if it's a simple idea. It could be a great business if you have the right people. If you have
Yes.
toxic people, it doesn't matter if you could, launch a rocket from your dinner table. It's going to be an unenjoyable journey. And I think
Yes.
sometimes we all sacrifice, maybe when we're younger, and work with people, get involved in relationships because it's money motivated, and it doesn't turn out well.
Yes. It doesn't. So just to acknowledge, we have a lot of people who are here with us. So we have Gopa, we have Renu Jain, we have Anil. Hemant Patil says very well said, and we need positive community. We have Madhu Vyas who says very true. So we have a lot of people who are watching us. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and commenting. It absolutely makes us feel fabulous. So now coming back to the conversation, Jeff, what did your law education from Boston teach you that was implementable and that helped you in your career? Because I know that you did not practice it for a very long time, but what was the learning that you had which has actually helped you?
I think law school teaches you how to be a critical thinker in a certain way.
Beautiful.
I think that having the education, even though not practicing, is
Mhm.
great because it gives you a different perspective.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not the
Looking at every
typical,
situation from all the perspectives.
yeah, and I really don't like having to get lawyers involved. I think the world wastes a lot of money on lawyers. It has to be a better way. To solve and resolve disputes. But I think it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's great it's great critical thinking, and it's great discipline because
Mm-hmm.
in the United States, law school's 3 years. It's a long time. It's you have to pass the bar exam. It's a lot of work, and it teaches you structure and commitment.
Mm-hmm. So mainly, your takeaways were the critical thinking and the commitment part of it.
Yeah, because it's a lot. Again, it teaches you hard work. Like you're going to have to spend 3 years grinding it out, reading a lot, spending time in class, a lot of papers, and it
Yes.
changes how you think.
Right. So, did you have any mentors early on in your career, Jeff, or you found them after making maybe some mistakes and then while finding, trying to find some answers in your life, you were able to find mentors? How has your journey been and what difference have they made in your life, your mentors?
I think that's a great question. Again, it's who you surround yourself with. So my first mentor was my father. He passed
Mm-hmm.
away about 15 years ago, but he taught
Mm-hmm.
me the value of hard work, of working hard, of accomplishing, right, and being focused. And I think on our journey there are different mentors, and if you're open to it, people that come into your life. And over the course of 20, 25 years, a lot of people have come into our lives. Some of them have stayed, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been mentors to them. They've been mentors to us. And other people, they're there for a reason, and then they're not there anymore. That's not good or bad. And I think, it's
Mm-hmm.
when you're open to it, when you're looking for something and you put it out there, the energy
Mm-hmm.
brings people in.
Yes. Yes,
But it's
it
very
does.
important to have a group of people that you could go to for advice in your life.
So, what difference has it made in your life? Having these people, how has it, made your journey different? Otherwise, how would
Well,
it have been with their presence? How has it been?
I think, when you find a group of people or a person that's a mentor or a coach, when you have an issue in your life, it's running it through. How would this person handle it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
how would Sam? How would Nate? How would Charlie? How would Steve? How would Bob? How would they handle this situation? Right,
Right.
before you rush to a decision, right, and then really understanding how
Mm-hmm.
people make those decisions, right? What is the process? I've learned I don't make emotional decisions.
Right.
If you ask me a question, I don't have an answer, I'll tell you, Anshu, you want to give me a day, let me get back to you tomorrow. I want to think on it. I want to really process it. So I think, taking the pieces of all the people you meet and finding their best skills and then incorporating them in yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's so true. You meet so many people. I actually tell this all the time that everyone has certain good qualities. Even toxic people have good qualities. If we can just take in those good qualities and leave the rest, I think does not affect us. But everyone has something that we can inculcate in our own lives.
Totally agree. And I think, when you see those good qualities and the ones you want to possess yourself, you have to work on it again.
Yes. You have
like
to work on it.
Like there's no magic fairy dust that will make you whatever you want to be. It's a journey.
Yes. There's another thing which I always say, Jeff, which is like no knowledge is no. I mean, none of the knowledge in this world is anyone's property, anyone's copyright. You apply that knowledge to yourself, you implement it in your life, you internalize it, and that knowledge becomes yours. So it's all about implementation and internalization of that.
Totally agree.
Absolutely. So now, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind you?
So the legacy is a legacy of service, helping people, being there for people, and always showing up. I'm very into showing up and showing up on time. I think that's very important to me, and no excuses, right? I mean, you could make excuses or you could get your results. And I think minimizing the excuses in our lives is crucial, right? Because we're not going to get what we want. I mean, and we all do it, it's hot out, I don't want to go work out, or I'm tired, I don't want to do this project, right? And I think the legacy is, hey, this person has integrity and he's a person of his word and he helped a lot of people.
Wow. Beautiful. That's so true, actually. And that matters a lot. So now, Jeff, last question for this round before we head on to our lightning bolt round is, this is my signature question for this, show. What is limit? And who according to are people who in your eyes are truly limitless?
Can you repeat that question? You broke up on me. Thanks.
Okay, sure. So what is limitlessness according to you? And who according to you are the people in your eyes who are truly limitless?
So I think first of all, limitless people, right, are people that have huge vision for their life and they're willing to take the action to make it happen. Right. I mean, let's just look at a very public example of an Elon Musk and, a Jeff Bezos. Right. Everyone knows them. Right. As boys, they had a fascination with the moon. Right. The only people that sent spaceships to the moon were governments. And now it ends up the governments are not really good at it. Shocking. Right. And in the US, we have Musk, SpaceX and Blue Origin sending people to the moon and eventually commercializing space travel. So they had a lot of people say, you can never do that, right? Well, you want to know something? They did. So I always look at people with this huge vision that are changing the world. And it could just be someone in their own business that's taking the business, very niche business, taking it to the next level. But I think when I look at limitless people, it's limitless in their mindset that anything is possible, right? Finding the love of their life, changing their life, and whether it's learning a different language, whether it's moving across the world, whether it's making money, whether it's service, right? I want to go and help and feed thousands of kids, versus people that are just robotic, right? They're doing the same thing every day, thinking they're going to get a different result.
Yes.
And I think, there's, I'll share a story with you that just happened. We were in Newport Beach celebrating Diana's dad's 90th birthday. Big birthday. It's doing great. We were with her brother, Diana, and I, and her parents. We're sitting at a beautiful resort, Pelican Hill, and we're having an incredible dinner overlooking the ocean, the sunset. And, we're there for a couple of hours. And there's a gentleman sitting at a table next to us by himself. When he leaves, he said, "Happy birthday." And then I, and we're like, thanks and whatever. We didn't really have much, made some eye contact. And then I asked the waitress, I said, "Hey, can we have the bill?" And she came by and she's like, "That guy didn't tell you?" And I was like, "Didn't know. He just came by and wished a happy birthday."
Happy birthday.
He ended up picking up the whole tab for dinner.
Wow. And he was a complete stranger.
Complete stranger. And basically he missed his dad or someone's 90th birthday because of COVID. And I was shocked. And at the restaurant, there's a hotel. And I know he didn't want to know his name, but I got his name and I just left him a little note because that act of kindness impacted so many people. So he's limitless, right? He doesn't have scarcity over money. I mean, think about that. I mean, it could have been a $400 bill. We weren't in an expensive restaurant. So I think when you're able to have gratitude and pay it forward, you can impact a lot of people. I mean, not only were we impacted, all the waiters and waitresses, they were younger. They're like, "We've never seen that." The hostess, the manager, and it makes us pay it forward. So I think there's a lot of ways you could look at people who are limitless. It's not just based upon money, right? It's
not just based upon money. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Diana's parents have been married like 60 plus years. Like anyone who's married 60 plus years, like what are the lessons?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. Like they've obviously figured out how to make it work for them. It might not work for you. You might have to change it. So I think there are so many people that embody that limitless idea and mentality.
So true. So true. And when you cross paths with them and, you just get those goosebumps. And seriously, as you said, you pay it forward because if someone did something, such a act of, you can say maybe kindness, maybe, I'm not sure what's the word we can use over here, but you feel like paying it forward, that someone was kind to me, someone was compassionate, someone was maybe, not even wanting anything back.
Yep.
Yeah,
very
completely
true.
selfless. Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It's amazing, amazing. Just acknowledging all the comments again. So we have Madhu once again. Madhu Vyasji, she says, great. Anil says, yes, agree. Positive people around you makes a lot of difference. Sanvi says, awesome. And Madhu Vyasji says, beautiful. Thank you so much once again, everyone. Let your comments keep coming in. And let me now, let us go ahead and start on our lightning bolt round. All right, Jeff. So what is your greatest fear?
That's a great question. I don't really operate on fear. It's an emotion that I've learned to not really accept and process. So I am definitely not a fear-based person, and I know that's kind of crazy, someone who's gone through a journey with cancer, but I believe what you focus on, you get more of it. So if I'm focused on fear, whether it's fear or fail, I'm going to get more of it. So again, I've just learned I don't really, if I have a moment or a fearful thought or emotion, I block it out. I shoot it. It's like a balloon. I pop it and I move on I replace it with something positive, because a fearful thought, all we're doing, as my wife says, is borrowing trouble from the future. Most of the things that we have fear about, that we worry about, are future events, right? We don't have, some people have memories of past bad events, but fear
Yes.
comes out of what we're focusing on in the future. And a lot of that stuff doesn't happen. So why focus on
Yes.
it?
Yes. Great, great. I was expecting this answer from you, but it was important for me to ask. So fill in the blanks. True love is
Unconditional.
beautiful. What is your idea of the best date with Guyana?
We love doing so much things together. I mean, like, as soon as we're done, we're going out for 6-7 mile walk, having dinner, right? We make the best of every moment. We love to travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And love being around positive people. I mean, we could just be sitting around a coffee table and just with great people with uplifting conversation.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. What? Okay, choose snow mountains, lush green valleys, golden deserts, or sunny beaches. Where would you
Sunny
be?
beaches. Sunny
Sunny
beaches.
beaches.
Yeah,
Because you are in Florida. I think that's
yeah.
answered.
We both grew up on opposite coasts. I'm in New York, Diana's in California. We grew up spending time, whether it's after college, on the ocean, and I believe water is magical, especially the ocean. So
Yes.
being close to it and seeing it is really
Mhm.
powerful.
What is the current song that you're listening to?
Current song. I like country music.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. There were two songs I just downloaded. One is by Tim McGraw. It's called Undivided. And the other one is a new female artist, Caroline Jones. So those are two
Mm-hmm.
that I just downloaded because they're really catchy. And I like Tim McGraw's song because it's, we're so divided, and just having a nation and a world that's, harmonious would be really good.
Beautiful, nice, nice. I'm not too much of a country, songs listener, but there used to be this John Denver song, "Country Roads Take Me Home."
Yeah.
I grew up with that.
Yeah, I don't know if country music is big in India, but it's great because a lot of the songs are very meaningful lyrics, like John Denver's song. So
I was more of a Brian Adams person.
yeah, totally.
Totally grew up on all the Elton Johns and John Denver and
Yeah.
Brian Adams. So many of these people, Madonna, a lot of these people. Who is that one person, Jeff, that has influenced the most in your life?
Whew. That is a really tough question because it wouldn't be fair to say one person, because there have been so many influences, of people. Just last year, we have a friend, his name is Sam Silverstein. He's a business coach and author, and we took a course with him, and he's a friend. And the course that we took on purpose and mission and values was really, really important over the last 18 months, call it 2 years. But if I go through my life at different parts, there are people that are impacting, that I'm enjoying working with, that are, and I'm looking forward to the future of the people I don't know yet that are coming in my path.
Right. Okay. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's your take. Some people like, saying out one name, and, this take is absolutely your perspective, your way of looking at things. It's true. We get influenced by so many people. No doubt about it.
Great.
Yeah. So, what do you want to be born as in your next birth? I mean, if you believe in a rebirth or a next birth, then what do you want to be born as?
Our two little Maltese dogs, because they have an incredible life full of love. It's interesting. We have one that's 6 years old, Jenny, and when you
Mm-hmm.
look into her eyes, that this is not her first trip around the planet. Like, she was a person at some point, and I'm like, and I know this sounds crazy, I'm like, please talk just a little bit. Just for a day, I want to hear what you have to say. I just think animals, and dogs and have just such meaning and heart, and our dogs are treated really well. So I don't know. maybe that would, to give up. I mean, unconditional love is an animal.
Yes,
I mean,
right.
if
They never
we
think
could,
about what they are going to get back from you.
if you could be a scientist and take that gene that's in a dog of unconditional love and that happiness and put it in people, the world would be a different place.
Yes, yes. I saw the pictures, I think, of both of them. One you have put something like blue and one is in pink on the
Yeah,
forehead. Yeah, they look so damn cute. They are really cute.
they are super sweet.
Yes. What is spirituality to you?
I think knowing that, whether you're religion based, right? I think all religions have power, or you're universal based. I think just understanding that there's a force above us
Mm-hmm.
that, you have to surrender to. You don't have to, you could fight it, but I believe there's a master plan. Whether you believe in God or whatever you're practicing. And spirituality is like getting in touch with yourself and being one with the universe and just understanding that we're all connected.
Yes, absolutely. Spirituality is about understanding yourself and the connection. Yes, no doubt. If an angel granted you a one wish, any wish that could be fulfilled, what would that be?
It's a great question. I think that we live in a world of more gratitude, happiness, and understanding other people, because that would change everything. If everyone just had a little ounce of understanding of other people's situations, gratitude for the position they're in, and happiness, the world would be a lot better place. Be more fun for everyone. We get more done.
Great one. Define yourself in a sentence.
Passionate, inspired, excited, no excuses, results driven.
Beautiful. Thank you. So we are done with our lightning bolt round. Now, Jeff, one last message that you want to leave the audience with.
I think the most important thing is, what can you change today? What can you implement in your life today? We're so easy to say, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, or we have a big staff. Like, what do you do that you've been wanting to change? Do it right now. Even though you're in India and it's nighttime, what can you change? Is it, okay, it's 8:00 at night, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to go for a 15-minute walk around the block. I'm going to change, if instead of maybe having a beer before I go to sleep, I'm going to have a glass of water, right? I think implementing something every day that improves your life, because over time it's powerful.
Over time, it's powerful. In India, we have a saying. I'll first say it in Hindi, that "boond boond karke ghada bharta hai." You'll not understand it, but with every drop, I mean, the ocean is made up of those drops. So with those drops, you fill up the pot, a big pot that you have, but it comprises of that drop. Finally, end of the day, if you fill it drop by drop every day, it will get filled one day.
That's a great saying.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I had a lot of fun, and it was so beautiful. I don't have words for it. So thank you so much for bringing all your energy, your wisdom, and your message to the audience.
Thank you so much. It's been great to be with everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
You have a great day.
We will. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey, people. So, as always, I had my amazing and phenomenal guest today. And wasn't he inspiring? When he shared that story about that stranger in the restaurant who paid the bill when they were celebrating, his father-in-law's birthday, the 90th birthday. He just, paid the bill, and he, said happy birthday, and he went off. I mean, I got goosebumps when I heard that. This is kindness. This is loving people as your own. not making any difference between yourself and others, getting connected by that divine energy. And you really want to pay it forward when that happens. So I think, there were a lot of lessons that we could take away from today's conversation. And as he rightly said at the end, that, what is that one thing that you have probably been postponing, saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow. What is that one thing that you have been putting off? Let's go ahead and do it today, and let's start that journey of consistency of developing that one habit. So, with that note, I want to leave you right now. And as I always share with you, please go ahead and check my website. It's anshutodi.com. If there is any way I can help you with, get connected with me through my website, and I'll be happy to help you. So take care, have a great evening and a great week ahead. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.